Hello, everyone, and welcome in once again to the Behind the Bench Coaches Show. I'm Tom Callahan. Thank you so much for joining me here. And, it's kind of interesting. Tonight we're doing a coach show without a coach. Jerome, hope you're feeling better, but Boom Boom is a little under the weather. And so we're sailing the seas of the coachless show. But right now, Jordan Popoff joining me in studio. Jay Croop will be here shortly. Pops, thanks for coming, man. I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me, Tom.
I'm curious. Where did you get that hat? Because I actually dig it quite a bit. That's pretty cool.
$10 at the clearance bin in the team store.
I'm gonna have to go check out the clearance bin at the team store. That's a good pitch though for the team merch clearance store. I like it.
Yeah, it was a sneaky find. I'm pretty proud of it.
No, actually, it is really good. It looks good. It matches your outfit and everything, man. It looks good. So, well, first of all, thanks for joining us. And I wanted to ask you a little bit. Generally, we have guys on. First of all, welcome, because you're new, and I just want to see how are you finding Columbus so far?
Columbus is awesome. I love it. Like we did the interview a couple days ago before the game against Elmyra on Saturday, but kind of got into just like how lucky I am to be here. But I mean, yeah, I could go and rave on and on about how great it is here, but the hockey's awesome, the team's awesome, fans are awesome. Yeah, we get treated really good here, and I mean, everyone knows that, and it's Columbus is the class of the league, and it's pretty clear. So yeah.
Well, we are pleased to have you here, and I'm gonna get in right now. I want to talk a little bit about what's going on with the River Dragons here and what's going on, with you guys on the ice. And I do want to remind everybody, we have a Wednesday night game tomorrow night, which is a little unusual, I know, but it's Pucks and Prayers night. So it's a faith-based night. We do have Pastor Kevin McDonald speaking starting at 6 p.m., and Marvina Lilly is singing the anthem and performing some gospel songs as well. So it's going to be an entertaining night, and hopefully you're able to make it down for that one. I know it's a little unusual having a game on a Wednesday night, but we will indeed. Not only is it a game on a Wednesday night, but we're also welcoming the Carolina Thunderbirds to town, which is an absolutely huge game on that one. And so, Pops, I want to ask you, have you gotten your arms around how big that Thunderbirds rivalry is just yet?
Oh yeah, I'm hearing. I've heard a little bit of the trash talk go back and forth, and so yeah, I think that's really cool. Obviously, because I used to be in Carolina a couple weeks ago or whatever. So yeah, it's nice to bring a little bit of fire in my belly as well to that rivalry for sure.
That's interesting, and I did want to ask you about that because I know that you got a little taste of it from their side of the fence as well. So I mean, you've kind of been now briefly on both sides. So first of all, thanks for being on the Columbus side. We appreciate that. And but second of all, I mean, is it the same for them? On their side, is Columbus the team with the target on its back for the Thunderbirds fans?
Oh, I'd say absolutely. I mean, I can vouch for that just because when I was after I'd been released from Carolina, I was still staying with a booster family for a little while after, and we were I was looking for a new team, and so I'd been talking to some of the fans, and they'd be giving me their advice on maybe places to go, and really the consensus was go anywhere but Columbus. Anywhere but Columbus. That's all anyone was ever telling me. So I thought that was pretty funny that, sorry I didn't take the advice, but that sucks for them, I guess.
And he ended up, so was it the Jay Croop factor? Don't come here because of Jay Croop. Everybody's still mad all these years later at Jay Croop.
I don't think they're ever going to let it go. But you know what? Every sport town needs a villain. So that's what I tell Petro. I'm like, hey, man, we did our job there. We won a championship there. Went there when they returned hockey back there, built the program up, won a championship, and did the same thing here. So, yeah, I just, because some fans are kind of like, they give me crap during the game, and then after the game, they're talking to me, and I'm like, hey. And they tell me they're like, yeah, we give it to you when we're playing against you, but afterwards, we like to see you. And I'm like, that's what, to me, it's like even the people that don't like me anymore, it's like, I mean, do you even have sports if you don't have someone like that?
Right.
So I love it.
It's good for the fans in Columbus too, right? It's a ready-made rivalry coming in the door. You already have a team that you love to hate. I mean, I like that in a sports team, I can think of any team I've ever rooted for. I could tell you who the teams are that I want to go to that game because I hate that team.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I mean, you can't. I mean, at least it feels like that ticket sales are up every time in that building when we go there. I mean, generally, I don't think. Actually, to be honest, I think the last 4 times we've gone there, it's been a sellout.
Well, and
so
it's. I'll tell you what. I mean, those even 3-3, which is tough. Like, that's tough on the players. It's tough on the fans. It's tough on everybody. There's still, a lot of people there. There's still a lot of people here who would come to 3-3 against Carolina because you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the other side of the equation, right? So, so Pops, you've been on both. You ignored the advice. So you come to Columbus. So, and we talked a little bit about your story about coming to Columbus before, but we've got time. Let's expand on it now. Tell me the story about how you ended up here.
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. So, I'll just take it from the top then, and if I'm dragging on too long, let me know because that's how I tell stories. I'm always all over the place. But yeah. So I guess like I said, I'd been released from Carolina, I'd say like almost 2 months ago, and so yeah, I mean, I started the year in Knoxville, and that didn't work out either, and then ended up in Carolina because that was kind of the backup plan. And then both places just didn't seem to be a good fit, and that's kind of just what I kept telling myself to keep my confidence high. Is it's all about fit, right? And I play a certain style, like shut down, physical D-man, and it just seemed like the teams that I was on, they weren't really looking for that kind of need. So yeah, just kind of try to keep the spirits high. I mean, even though I've been through a lot of adversity, but that's what made it kind of a good story. It just kind of kept going, and so after Carolina released me, I tried to go to Whitfill, and that was probably, I'll say rock bottom. And that's not a slight to Whitfill at all, just because the living situation, they made me sleep. They didn't have a bed for me because they weren't going to sign me, so I had to sleep on the floor there.
Oh.
And so yeah, not a slight to the team at all. I'm just saying that
welcome to the minors.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Yeah.
I'm kidding.
That sounds kind of baseball, minor league baseball, 12 guys crammed in a 2-bedroom. But
that's a tough balance. Yeah.
Yeah, but okay. So sorry. Continue. We're just.
Yeah. So I was sleeping.
So no bed, sleeping on the floor.
No bed. Yeah, sleeping in the team house, just on the floor, getting dust bunnies in my sheets and stuff, and then
breakfast was great though.
Yeah, there you go.
It was great.
Yeah, and then so I was just kind of buzzing around trying to call coaches, text coaches, trying to find someone to play, and so this brings me to when I'm, as I already mentioned, I was staying with my booster family in Carolina still at times. They let me come over for come hang out with them on occasion or whatever, even though I wasn't in Carolina anymore. I was skating with Whitfield at the time and just living on the floor or whatever. But anyway, so I went to Thanksgiving at my booster family's house that weekend, and they invited me to a game. So it was Carolina versus Columbus that weekend, and they kind of made a joke. They're like, hey, you should come to the game, and then you can introduce yourself to Columbus's coach after the game. His name's Boom Boom, like, and I was like, okay, yeah, sure, like whatever, like that's pretty funny. But I just was sitting there watching the game, and I guess the idea was just kind of bouncing around in the back of my head the whole time. And I was just, so I just said to myself, I was like, you know what, like, if I have nothing to lose here. So, I just, so I said after the game was over, I said to my booster family, I was like, hey, like, I think I'm actually gonna go do this. Like, I'm gonna go introduce myself. And they're like, oh, okay, well, we actually know some of the guys on the team, like, because they know Petro, because Petro used to be in Carolina or whatever, and I think I probably know Croopy too or whatever. Maybe hate him. I don't know. But yeah, so they brought me over to the side, Columbus's side of the rink or whatever, and I waited outside the locker room for a bit. And then when Petro came out of the room, they called over Petro, introduced me to him, and then they said, hey, can they talk to your coach? And then Petro kind of introduced me to the coach, who was just to Boom Boom, who was just standing outside the bus, and then just I just honestly just talked from the heart. I just said, hey, like, I'm looking for a shot. Like, I'll run through a wall for the team. Is there any way I can get your number? And, you know, and I think he just genuinely respected the move because, you know, like, you can tell when someone's just coming to him, like, as an honest person. So yeah, that was a pretty awesome feeling after I got the number. And then I gave Boom Boom a call, like, the next week, and he kind of gave me, like, the rundown on what he was looking for in a player. But, you know, he wasn't giving me any promises at all just yet or any guarantees. It was like, yeah, we might have, you know, an opportunity coming up, but he's not too sure about when that's going to be. But he cared about. I could tell he cared about me because, you know, he talked to me for a while and gave me some good advice about just just keep going. You just got to find someone you can trust, like a coach you can trust, team you can trust, like, you know, and he's just like, yeah, like, I promise. He told me, you know, he promised he'd give me a shot at some point. Just didn't know what that would be. But, you know, and then he said, oh yeah, and we're actually going to be in Wytheville the next weekend because they were playing Wytheville. So, and of course I was staying there. So he's like, yeah, come to the games and I guess I'll see you there or whatever. So yeah, I just looked forward to that weekend, and then bumped into him a couple times before the game, then after the game, and then just kind of, you know, got a little bit dressed up after the game, even though I didn't need to, and just tried to have a good, honest talk with him again. Just said, you know, like, there's nothing more in the world that I want than this shot. So, and then, you know, he said, all right, well, just, you know, we'll get you out of Whitfield. Just maybe sit tight though for a couple days or a day or two, and we'll see what happens here. But just give me a call tomorrow. And so, yes, the next day happened, and this might sound a little crazy, but I just started driving to Columbus. I didn't exactly have the green light yet, but I just figured, you know, if you.
I love this story, man. This is awesome.
We got beds.
We got. I heard there's beds in Columbus. I'm going to Columbus.
Well, I told him, I was like, hey, even if you don't have a bed or a room for me, like, I'll just stay in like a motel or something. He's like, no, we'll find you a room. I think when he heard that, he knew I was for real. But yeah, I just started kind of driving down there, even though I hadn't actually gotten the green light from him yet. And if he had changed his mind, I would have driven back. But I'm just saying, like, you know, I wanted to get going. I needed to get on the road, and just, you know, I had a good feeling it was going to work out. So yeah, just, I mean, I'd say the rest is is pretty much has been pretty well recorded already. I mean, I came to Columbus and yeah, just got my look, and I guess, like, was lucky enough that it went well, and yeah, so
come in, work your tail off, and here you are.
Exactly.
So,
yeah,
I like it. All right, well, I want to introduce something new tonight. This is something new we're going to do. Not only we're going to have a mailbag during the broadcast, but also during the coaches show. You can text us questions, and here's the number. So if you want to ask either Jay Croop a question or Jordan Popoff a question, or even myself, it's 844-987-4456. 844-987-4456. One more time, you can text. It's toll free, 844-987-4456. If you have a question for these guys, send it in via text. And we've never done this before. I'm introducing this right now, off the cuff, on the broadcast. And so we'll give you a minute. Maybe if you want to send something in, we'll take a break. When we come back, we will have more of the Behind the Bench Coaches Show. Jay Croop, Jordan Popoff. I'm Tom Callahan. Back with more in a moment. All right, we are indeed back on the Behind the Bench Coaches Show. It is a Tuesday night, 6 to 7. We are live here on 106.9 Really Rocks every single Tuesday night tonight. And again, get well, Boomer. I know that Jerome Bichard feeling a little under the weather, so Boom, hope you feel better soon. We have Jay Croop joining us here. We have Jordan Popoff along for the ride here tonight. And Jay, I wanted to talk to you a little bit. We did the TV show earlier today, and it's kind of an odd situation because the TV show won't air till Thursday, but we have a game tomorrow against Carolina. This is a big one. Here's the thing. It's also Pucks and Prayers night. I've noticed something. Whenever we tend to have a faith-based night, things get a little silly.
Uh-huh.
Is that just me? Am I imagining that?
Well, No,
the entertainment level's
definitely.
higher.
Yeah, the last time we met Carolina on.
It was Faith and Family Night last year.
It was Faith and Family Night.
Yeah.
This was, last year, yeah, but the year before, it was our bench clearer.
Oh, okay.
In
I wasn't here
Winston.
for this one.
In Winston, Faith and Family Night. You weren't here yet. Yeah, made everything. Made TSN in Canada. Made Highly Debatable. Made every top sport outlet out there. Faith and Family Night, yeah, with Carolina, bench clear and brawl. Those all happen organically, but yeah, no, gonna be an awesome night, Pucks and Prayer night. We got Pastor Kevin, our team chaplain. He's gonna be there, and it's gonna be a great night. Good weeknight for high schooler kids to get out of the house for a couple hours and come watch some good hockey. Obviously, first place is on the line. It's going to be a great night. I think tomorrow, just kind of, similar to military night. It's really not. The game's kind of about something more than just hockey. So, going to be definitely an intense game. I'm really excited about it. I think the guys are ready to go, and it's going to be an intense game for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And Pops, do you underscore this one a little bit more for yourself? I mean, is there a little impetus to stick it to Carolina when you play those guys?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that there's, I have no like bad blood or anything between like me personally or with the players or the coach or whatever. Like, I'll wish them the best and whatnot. But I think, yeah, just it's pretty fun and exciting just to be part of a rivalry but whatever happens on the ice is we'll stay on the ice.
You may have a career in politics after hockey is over. That was a very diplomatic answer. I like that. I can appreciate that. So that's it's good though. I mean, you get out there, you get the blood pumping, and I mean, especially against those guys. And I'll tell you what, we talked about it, Croopy, earlier today when we did tape the TV show. But I mean, Elmyra, that was a team that came in. You want to talk about guys that got the blood pumping coming into the building? Like, they had something to prove coming in here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, we talked about it earlier, and I just know this from being on kind of both sides of the fence, a player and a coach. I mean, guys want to be here. We generally are in the race every year for a championship. We have good ownership as far as taking care of the guys. We got an incredible fan base, great booster club. I mean, the list goes on. So guys that aren't here probably more than likely tried to be here. And so they have something to prove when they come in our building. It's a tough place to play. I feel definitely teams coming in here every night trying to knock off the top dog, and and again, we got to be prepared for that, because you can have the worst placed team coming in and bringing their best 2 games of the year to you. So preparation for us and being ready to go every night it's a must, and it leads into getting home ice for the playoffs. I mean, we learned quickly last year how important that is, and that's our goal this year is secure first place, and you don't do that without winning the games you need to win, and winning at home is huge.
Well, I mean, not only that, but look at Carolina last year, won the first 2 games of the best of 5 for the Commissioner's Cup at home, went up to Danbury.
Lost 3 rows.
That was it.
That's right. Yeah, I actually don't think that last playoffs, I don't think a single team won a road game. All playoffs, all teams.
That's wild.
We did. Columbus beat Motor City first
in Motor
round.
City, that's right.
But we were losing the whole game, and we scored 2 late goals. I mean, we scored tie at the end of the second, and then we scored late in the third, and just snuck one out. But just, I mean, shows you we were the 1 seed playing a 4 seed, and I mean, bounce away from being down. So I mean, home ice it's massive, and you don't just get that from going 500. You gotta be top team, and obviously the leading into the finals, winning the whole entire league is, you got to come to our place to win it.
Absolutely. So, Pops, I thought you had something to say a minute there ago. Do you want to jump in now? All right. Well,
Oh no, that was pretty well said.
that was
very well said.
he does that. Jay's got a knack for that stuff. That's why we like having him on the media appearances and everything, and we get him going there. And I'll tell you what, this year, guys, so the show, I've been telling everybody this, but I'm having far more fun doing the show this year because we're talking about stuff. Yeah, we're talking about hockey, but, we get into some other stuff. So I do want to mention, I'm going to bring this up before the break. I was going to kind of save it, but we're going to put it out there. And we can get into this discussion. But the league, now with Daniel Elmyra, had a ruling come down where he is basically indefinitely suspended. The Board of Governors got together and everybody out of this meeting. And so this is, first of all, I want to point out this is not Dave Jackson who's doing the discipline this year. Not him. Not Paul Jean. This is the governors and the league leadership got together and said, all right, we're going to indefinitely suspend this guy after he's had a couple incidents where he's really basically tried to end somebody. Two things come out of this. Number one, that. Number two, now the league has finally said there's a reciprocal agreement on suspensions. We will honor, suspensions from other leagues. Your thoughts on that? Jay, we can start with you.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, I mean, I think our league is doing the right thing, and I'm speaking as far as suspension in other leagues. I'm not touching base on Amesbury yet, but as far as other leagues honoring their suspensions, our league is heading in the right direction. We're a developmental league, and anytime that you have guys just going out trying to cause problems and not worry about the hockey game, it always leads to bigger problems. I can think of a guy particularly down in Mississippi, jumping guys late in games.
What the Pinkowski are you talking about?
Exactly. So
I'll throw him under the bus. He's another one.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, just it's just the way they go about it, and there's really no need. Someone that's got I generally just don't like calling guys out like that, but when you're jumping guys for no reason and getting away with it time after time, it's like, man, when's the league gonna step in? And I think they're finally doing that, and it needs to be done because we do have. I mean, yeah, we got older guys that play in the league, but that can still compete and are here to win or continue to be the best they can. But I feel when you leave guys hanging around like that really, are just kind of here putting a circus act on, it affects, it affects the younger guys that are trying to move up and use this league as a stepping stone. It's, you can't have those guys, jumping guys like Ryan Hunter. Like, his goal is to come here, do well, and get out of here and move up. And, it's not fair to him for our league to allow guys like that just be running around and punching guys in the face without them even ready for it or them even being aware that they're going to get jumped. So I like that they're honoring other league suspension because, you can kind of run into issues like that. And, I think it's a good call by the league.
Jordan?
Oh, no, that was very well said. I mean, I completely agree. Just that, maybe Croop and I are not as old-fashioned thinking as maybe like some other people out there in the hockey world, but I mean, yeah, like it sounds like what Croopy's saying is, there is an extent to which we don't need that kind of, fighting or jumping or aggressiveness, in the league, because it's, it's not good for it, because we want to breed skill, like, and like that was one of my thoughts too, is, it's not great to have players running around doing those kinds of things, because it's putting other people's safety like seriously on the line, and we want to have a league where we can develop players, and it's going to be hard to attract those kinds of skilled players and whatnot if we're just a goon fest constantly in a jungle. So I mean, that being said, yeah, I think it's it's a good move, but maybe I'm just a dumb rookie talking right now and I don't know anything. But yeah, on the other hand, I mean, I feel bad for Amesbury as a person because it is like that is his career, like his hockey, like not sure what he's gonna do for hockey anymore, and that sucks for him. And wish him the best, or if there's something else he could be doing. But you have to look at it that way too. So.
I think I'm a big player safety advocate. Like that's the important thing. Like you guys shouldn't have to worry about somebody trying to end your playing days. But beyond all of that, here's the effect down the line on the league if they don't take this step now. And Jay, we talk about it. You're heavily involved in the recruiting. So if you're trying to bring either a guy like J-Mac, who Justin McDonald is an incredibly skilled player towards the end of his career, not the fastest guy. Like, people are going to catch him, right? But the thing is, does he want to be looking over his shoulder the whole time? Think somebody's going to two-hand him, somebody's going to tackle him, somebody's going to run him into the boards? No. Or your younger rookie players who are highly skilled guys, are they going to want to come here and say, why would I run the risk, either guy, of being injured in this kind of gong show environment? And I think that's what we need to, as a league, look at. Like, this is important to the product.
Well, for sure. And just on top of that, it's like, look, our league is already, we have guys here that, no one's here for the money. So the fights come organically already because it's our pride. And, and most 9 out of 10 times in this league, everything is pretty much square up. And you're pushing my buddy around, so let's fight, and they handle it, and it's the way it should be. But it's those one or two guys that that do it a different way and kind of have no code for the game. And that's where we run into problems because, at least me as a coach, when things happen like that, I'm like, well, who am I now have to sit to bring in someone to protect my guys?
Right.
Because, because obviously they have a guy that is just doing that. And so it puts everyone in a bad spot, coaching, players, the league, everyone. It's like, hey, we have a good product, and we do. I mean, we average the most fights in probably any league, but most of it comes organically. So why, let's get those guys out of here. The guys that are doing it, and again, I'm not saying, I'm not saying Amesbury was doing it, or, I mean, I guess I was calling Pinkowski out a bit, but just kind of, speaking the truth about it. But I've only seen films of Amesbury doing what he did, but I don't know the other side of that story. If things were going on during that game or whatever. But but guys just going out to intentionally hurt players. I mean, that's just not part of the game anymore. It's gone. It's been gone. No disrespect to guys that do it every night. But most teams in the finals don't even have that guy. So if you want to be relevant and have a good team at this level, it's really not there. The guys that can do it can play, and they don't do it just to do it. So,
right.
It's changing, and the league's heading in the right direction.
Well, why don't we grab another break here right now at the bottom of the hour? And again, I want to talk about that text line. I'm just throwing it out there tonight. If you have questions, feel free to text something in here. I think I'm doing this right and checking the inbox the right way, so could be on me too. 844-987-4456. It's a toll-free number. Just your message and data rates may apply, whatever they may be, but 844-987-4456. If you have a question, text it to 844-987-4456. All right, we'll be back with more of the Behind the Bench Coaches Show in just a moment. Stay tuned. Welcome back on the Behind the Bench Coaches Show. Tom Callahan here with you. We're joined by Jay Croop and Jordan Popoff. Guys, we got a text question. And this one, hearing rumors of the league expanding to Canada again. What are your thoughts? It says, go Parkers, haha. So, Jay, I don't know if that resonates with you, but I will tell you this. Man, it would be cool to have more teams up north. Do you think we get teams in Canada? You're not feeling it, right?
I don't see it happening, but I don't know. Like, maybe. I was the only American to play on a Canadian team. Cornwall.
What was that like?
It was awesome. It was awesome. We had a great building. It was identical to the Civic Center.
Was that where the old Aces used to play? Back where they in the American League?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, nice. That is a good building.
Yeah. It was super good. Travel was tough, but I had a great time there. I don't know. I don't envision us going more north. I envision the south keep building more than the north, but I don't know.
So that's the other thing, and not that necessarily you guys know any more than I do on this, but I mean, we're at 11 right now. Obviously, you want to get to at least 12, maybe 14. You want an even number if you could pull it off. The other thing that becomes interesting, too, is then if you're going to do a little geographic relocation, I know they split the Michigan teams up before the season. It'd be nice to put them back in the same division and maybe just us have a nice little Southern Conference here.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. It would be cool, but yeah, I don't know.
There's got to be another place or two or three we can stick a team down south. There's got to be
For
something.
sure. For sure there is.
Maybe some of the hotel on the beach or,
Florida.
My goodness, that would be hey. It almost worked in Slapshot, but man, that'd be one of those places where if you go as a road team into like one of those really nice towns where it's like I want to kind of hang out, and I mean, I don't know, is it different now? Like Pops as a player in the game today, is it different for you when you go into a town? You're like, it's not as much of the nightlife, the distractions, all that stuff. I mean, plus this league, I mean, we do tend to roll in, on the bus and not spend a lot of hotel nights. But does that matter to you, visiting cities? Like, do you get to see much of a visiting city?
Yeah, no, I'd say always look forward to seeing new places. It's definitely, it's one of the best parts about life is just getting to travel a little bit, and that's the great thing about hockey is, like you sometimes get to go on the road with the boys and then, explore the town a bit. And I mean, trying to think of some cool places I've seen this year. I mean, I went to Bennington with Carolina. That was pretty cool. We didn't really get to do anything, but it was cool to see New York, I guess. And yeah, I mean, trying to think of what else I can really say. I mean, Whitfield's not the prettiest spot, but it's cool to see Virginia, and but yeah, I've been such a suitcase this year that I definitely have been able to see a lot of different cool spots, which I guess is a bit of a silver lining of what I've been through. But yeah,
I feel like if you're an outdoorsman, Whitfield might be the place that you'd want to go. Like if you're into hiking, camping, fishing, hunting, that kind of thing. That feels like the vibe of that town. Am I close with that?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. There's nothing really to do there other than that. I mean, it's just a lot of highways and farms, I guess. But yeah.
See J-Mac driving around on a 4-wheeler or something like that. No, I'm kidding. I have no idea if that's his kind of thing, but I can imagine that in my head. So, and I will say this though, this league, when you look at the towns, like, so we added Baton Rouge this year. Obviously, we added Whitfield as well. But last year going into Biloxi, Mississippi, and Baton Rouge, that's an old hockey market. Back from the East Coast League days. Obviously, Columbus was in the East Coast League. Winston-Salem's got a good hockey history on it. And as you talked about, Jay, like kind of rebuilding that. But some of these places you go into, people don't realize they've had hockey before, maybe going back 30 or 40 years for fan base.
Yeah. I mean, some of these markets have had hockey and they haven't known it, whether they moved there later or whatever. But yeah, I think hockey's it's big in the South just because it's a little different and they don't grow up around it. So I think it's growing for sure down south. Yeah.
Even on, the other side of the state, I know Augusta is pushing to try to get an East Coast League team back. So
yeah.
Which maybe they get a building. That'd be wild.
Yeah.
I mean, quick story. When I first started in hockey way back in the day, but I moved to Texas in 1999, I'm pretty sure before both you were born. Maybe not you, Jay. But, man, 16 hockey teams in the state of Texas when I went there. Whoa. That's unbelievable, right? I had no idea. But I started in the old Western Professional Hockey League. They had 16 teams, which included the Dallas Stars, at the time the Houston Aeros in the American Hockey League. You never thought that. But, I mean, hockey's been around the South for a long time. Oklahoma City, up until they lost their American League team, had hockey continuously, I think, since 1936.
Yeah.
So it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun. So, Pops, I want to get into your story a little bit, your journey about how you started just playing hockey in the first place. Talk to us about where you're from, who got you on skates, who's been the influential person in your life.
Oh, wow. Great question. Yeah, definitely my dad's a no-brainer. He's been the hockey nut of the family, and he's originally from Edmonton, Alberta, even though I'm from Calgary, so he converted me to an Oilers fan. And,
Aha. That's the big question, right?
So I'm no stranger to rivalries with, Calgary Flames, Edmonton Oilers, and all. So, yeah, just we've always been a bit of a hockey family just through my dad, because it's, it was always his passion, and, he's always been unreal, just driving me to practice every day, and yeah, just watching games with him and just doing stuff with him was always awesome. So yeah, he was always the number one guy that I looked up to and inspired me and whatever. So yeah, lots of love and gratitude for him, for sure.
How old were you when you started skating?
Probably like 3 or something. Just through the jets on, just pushed me around out there. But yeah, I've been playing hockey as long as I can remember, and that was always the number one thing. There's nothing else in my life that ever was number one. So
you get bit by the bug; it bites pretty hard sometimes, right?
You could say that.
Yeah. Who did you look up to growing up? Who were your favorite players?
Oh wow. So yeah, just be I'm a defenseman, like defenseman. So these are probably not like great choices, but say like for when I was watching the Oilers, like back in the day, like Ryan Smith was my favorite player. I had like, it's a lot of posters and hockey cards of him, and was always watching him just like put the puck in the net. He was pretty gross. And yeah, and then I mean Alice Hemsky, another skill guy for the Oilers. I don't know if anyone really knows any of these guys, but they're important to me, and they're huge up in Alberta, Edmonton, Alberta. But and then obviously like Connor McDavid is a just a joy to watch. So makes watching the Oilers these days really fun. So it's impossible not to really have him as my favorite player right now. So
that's awesome. Anybody else that makes that list for you?
I'd have to think a little bit more. I mean, as far as like maybe someone that I'd try to model my game after, I'd say Braden McNabb on the Vegas Golden Knights, like Stanley Cup winner last year. He plays kind of a hard-nosed shutdown role that I try to like model my game after a little bit. Not a super like well-known name. Doesn't put up a lot of points, but yeah, like super valuable player, I'd say. And yeah, definitely a guy that I'd aspire to be a little bit like.
Okay, those are good ones though. Those are all good ones. Ryan Smith is a beauty. I got a Ryan Smith story for you. But Jay, we're walking into your bedroom as an 8-year-old kid. What posters are on the wall? Who's up there?
Who did I really didn't get into the NHL, because where I grew up, Madison, it was a college hockey town, and then so I liked Mike Davis. He didn't make the show, but he's a great college player. Robbie Earle, Adam Burrish, Brian Elliott, Danny Heatley, he was a Badger. And so I was big college, and then because, I mean, both Minnesota and Chicago, 3.5, 4 hours from me, they both were terrible when I was growing up, and then they got good when I was in high school. Chicago got good. So watched a lot of Patrick Kane then, and Sharp, and that crew, the Crawford and that crew. I watched a lot of them when they were good. But I was, big Packer fan. So I was, college hockey and Packers.
Nice. So Brett Favre guy then, or
Yeah,
Yeah,
Aaron
all right.
Rodgers. I mean, Jordan Love now. Kind of been,
yeah, you got to be pretty excited.
been pretty blessed. I don't know if it's in the water up there or what's going on, but it seems to me that we got another franchise quarterback, and my whole life I haven't seen a crappy quarterback.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That is pretty good because I've seen more than a few. You'd see my Bills hat sitting here. I've seen some really good ones. Had
Yeah.
a Hall of Famer mixed in there in Jim Kelly, and then we've had some questionable choices. But that's interesting. And Grey Cup at all? CFL football? You get into the football at all, Jordan, or no?
Oh yeah, that was another thing my dad really got me into as a kid. I was probably watching just as much Saskatchewan Roughriders CFL games as I was hockey games. We love our CFL up north for sure. I mean, yeah, the league's obviously not anywhere as popular as the NFL, and I feel like it. I'm not sure how they're doing for numbers these days either. I mean, I haven't been into it in quite a few years, but as a kid, I was in love with that for sure. I love football, love CFL. So
Well, it's super entertaining. I mean, 3 downs, lots of, ball movement and all that. So it's interesting, though. So is your dad from Saskatchewan? Because they used to be the Eskimos or the Elks now in Edmonton, or the Calgary Stampeders. So he was a Rough Riders guy.
yeah, he was a Rough Rider guy. He was born in Regina and then moved to Edmonton.
Okay.
So that's kind of why he was a Saskatchewan fan, not like Edmonton Eskimos or whatever at the time.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so yeah, we were a Saskatchewan Rough Rider family and Edmonton Oilers.
Okay, that's fair. That makes sense. So, but let's see, what do we got? We got to grab one more break. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll take a break, come back with more here in just a moment. This is the Behind the Bench Coaches Show. All right, we are back here on the Behind the Bench Coaches Show. Jordan Popoff is our player guest this week, and Jay Croop is in for Jerome Boom Boom Bicharp. Boomer, get well soon. Jay, do you know if Boom's going to be at the game tomorrow?
He's a Western Canadian.
He's a gamer.
I'll see him on the bench.
Yeah.
I'll see him on the bench. I mean, I'm not gonna. I guess I really don't know, but I've been with him for a while. I would be shocked if he wasn't on the bench.
Basically, his head would have to not be attached to his shoulders. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
But,
He's a battler.
he is. You know what? And it's funny that because Jordan, you were telling your story earlier about how you're like want to go through a brick wall for the team and come in and work hard and just be that person. And I think that Jerome Bicharp is like the epitome of that. So couldn't be a better place for that kind of player, So it's just, I mean, what do you guys think about playing for Boomer? Like, what are your thoughts?
Me first?
Yeah, Jay, you can go first.
Oh man, it's awesome. He's. I mean, yeah, he's probably. I mean, not probably. He's the most. He doesn't just care about you as a player, like a number or a piece of meat. He wants to help. Like, obviously, he wants you to be a good hockey player and do well, but he's also, trying to help figure out what you want to do after hockey because, hockey doesn't last forever. I wish it did. But, so he's always, talking to guys outside of hockey, outside of practice, just, picking their brain on, what are you interested in doing? Maybe it's, in his case, it's real estate, and hey, maybe do you want to take a real estate class, see if you enjoy that, or do you want to go check out? We got a couple ex-players that are firemen. Do you want to check that out? So he's all, he's really just really is a mentor on top of being a coach, and I also think that's why a lot of guys are intrigued into playing down here as well. I'm everyone in the locker room would run through a brick wall for him, and it's awesome playing for him. It's been great.
Jordan?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've only been here for almost, I guess, 2 months or whatever, and doesn't feel like it's been that long, but I mean, it's crazy to me just how much like respect and love we have for that guy who's at the helm of our group. And I mean, obviously, like, I've already got into like how much I appreciate what he's been able to do for me and giving me the opportunity and everything, but But and yeah, I mean, it just goes to show, like, you know, that he's a good guy at heart, to be able to, you know, to see the just to respect the move and the person that I was coming to him as, to approach him, you know, outside the bus that night and just ask for a shot. And even though I really didn't have the best resume or anything necessarily, but, you know, you could tell, like, you know, there was some fire in my belly or whatever. But yeah, I think it's cool just to have he's a player's coach, I would say. That's kind of how we'd, you know, define him, and he's got a really good relationship with all the guys, and I think that's awesome. And but for me, it's kind of just unheard of. Like, I've only ever had, like, kind of like the old fashioned, like, hardo coaches, like John Tortorella types and stuff. And I mean, I love those coaches too, and a lot of respect for some of the coaches I've had in the past have done a lot for me, obviously. But I mean, it's really nice to have this little bit of change of scenery with Boomer as well. I'm like, having this players coach, and like what is this? Like, these exist, these players coaches? Like, wow, like, this is nice. Like, being able to actually, like, you know, and just say hi to your coach in the morning and have a conversation. But yeah, and aside from just that, I think he's a really smart guy, and he knows a lot about the game, and it goes to show just with what he's been able to do, being drafted to the NHL and playing for all those years. And so, yeah, I think if anyone's a good fit for our group, I'd say, you know, it's got to be him.
All right. Well, guys, I want to say thank you. I appreciate your time this week, and look forward to the game tomorrow night. It's going to be an awful lot of fun.
Buckle up.
All right, there you go. You heard it right from Jay Croop's mouth. All right, we will do that. We will be right back to wrap things up in just a moment. This is the Behind the Bench Coaches Show. And indeed, we are back to wrap things up. My thanks to Jordan Popoff. My thanks to Jay Croop. Again, Boomer, feel better. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. And you know what? It's going to be a big game tomorrow night. It is Pucks and Prayers night. It is a Wednesday night game, a rare Wednesday night River Dragons game, but you can come out and join us. Tickets are on sale for all remaining regular season home games through the Civic Center box office and online at Ticketmaster.com. Don't forget, because it is Pucks and Prayers tomorrow night, we do have the guest speaker starting at 6. So if you want to get there right at 6, doors tend to open at 6, but it's going to be like right at 6 o'clock. Pastor Kevin McDonald will be talking, and then after that, we are going to have Marvina Lilly. She'll be performing as well as singing the anthem. So looking forward to a great night tomorrow night. And it's against the Carolina Thunderbirds. A big 3 points on the line. River Dragons in first place heading into the game tomorrow night, but man, head-to-head, anything can happen. You know it's going to be intense. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, again, my thanks to Jordan and to Jay for coming out tonight. My thanks to you for listening. We appreciate you being here and being a part of the Behind the Bench Coaches Show. And we will talk to you tomorrow night. That Air Force Heating and Air pregame show kicks off at 6:30 p.m. This is Tom Callahan saying thanks for listening to the Behind the Bench Coaches Show.